Roll call.
Campbell,
Here.
Press, Miller,
Here.
Michael, Richardson.
Yes, are here.
Okay, the first item on the agenda.
We're gonna ask Brett, Miss Camilla, if he'll do his presentation.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Brett.
Well, I stopped by and saw Marty the other day just to kind of inform her what we had going on this summer. One of the very large events that we're organizing right now is a music festival for the end of the summer, Labor Day weekend, Friday the 2nd through the 4th of September. It'll be an Americana red dirt, Americana Texas red dirt type of festival. We're looking to have 18 artists. I'll just kind of ramble down through the artists. You may or may not know them. They're very well known in the industry, though. Zach Bryan, Grace Potter, Big Head Todd, Jamestown Revival, Steve Earle and the Dukes, Lucero, North Mississippi All Stars, Red Shakehan, Parker Millsap, Grady Spencer and the Work, Robert Ellis, Caroline Spence, Eston in the 86th, and we have about 6 or 7 more artists and groups that will be joining us for that 3-day festival that we're having. But just kind of a rundown of what we're doing, and we're trying to draw, more people. We're not looking to get 7,000 to 10,000 people to come move out to Western Colorado, but we are wanting to kind of expose them to the area and the resort. And I just, there's no place I could think. I've been a lot of places in this world, and that area down there is where I want to be. It is a pretty magical place. I think you all know that, and it's only want to get some new people out there. So we're reaching out across the country. Really, our advertising and marketing budgets for the festival is around $150,000, and to reach out clear across the country. I went to a festival in Key West, same type, Americana Red Dirt Festival. A gal that runs that festival works for me now and is helping us organize this. And it's a really cool environment. It's not your typical, concert environment where you got to worry about people getting too intoxicated and getting crazy and rowdy. And everybody's pretty laid back. As a matter of fact, I probably in the 4 days that I was down there, there's 7,000-8,000 people there for the festival, and they come from all over the country. They travel for this type of music, which is a really cool thing. But I probably didn't see more than 3 security staff the whole time I was there, which was a very odd for that type of environment. But everybody's just really laid back and listening to music and enjoying themselves. There's not a real hustle and bustle involved in it, which was very cool. But of course we're taking a lot greater measures as far as security and logistics and safety of the event. We will be staffing around 60 extra security people to come to work for us over the weekend. I'm sorry, my phone just cut me off there for a second. But we're using a security company out of Denver, and I also have a very good friend of mine that organizes the Super Bowl. And so he's on board with us, and he's been with us every step of the way and lining up security and logistics for the festival. We've been fortunate that our neighbor, Barneye Ranch, has given us 80 acres of camping ground, offsite camping ground there on Highway 12. And so that will be one of our remote camping grounds for kind of the overflow of people that we're expecting. and then Bill Topel, which is just about a mile up the road. He also gave us about 80 acres for offsite primitive camping as well. So we're very fortunate that at least our neighbors are seeing our vision and want to be a part of it for the most part. So the plan will be that we'll be busing in. We'll be able to get around 1,000 people on the resort to stay between the primitive camping, cabins, RV hookups, and we are developing a new campground on the west side of the lake that was partially developed in the past, but I think whoever started it, they did not finish it. So we're coming in with actual machinery and getting that developed as we speak. But yeah, we're gonna have to bus in. Probably part of the guests that we're expecting. So I've hired a bus company out of Denver to come down, and they'll support us transporting people in and out of the resort. That'll cut down on a lot of the traffic too. Instead of having 50 vehicles driving down the road, you'll have one bus with 50 people in it. So that helps a lot whenever when you're talking about the safety and the congestion on Highway 12 there. We've been in contact with Highway Patrol. I know the local police, the local sheriff, and emergency response there. So we're working along those lines as well to get that organized. And I think we're way ahead of the curve right now where we need to be. So, but yeah, that was the big thing. I just wanted to let you guys know, being the tourism board, what we have going on, what we feel like, and what we expect, what our expectations are, is to bring in probably close to 8,000 people from out of the area, out of state, out of area, to the area and to the city of Trinidad and of course the resort and Stonewall Weston area. And we're pretty excited about it. We think it's going to be a great success, and I think that right now, as far as lodging goes, what we have packaged with our tickets and basically reserved in Trinidad and everywhere between Trinidad and Cachara, we're roughly $2.5 million worth of reservations right now, which is of course lodging and tax dollars, and that's a good thing for the community, the county, and the city. So I just wanted to fill you guys in on what we had going on, answer your questions if you have them, and that's it.
All right.
One question from the tourism side, have you been in communication with the local lodgers, Airbnbs, hotels, motels, camping grounds here in Trinidad?
Oh yeah, we have reserved already with, and I'm just gonna rattle them off here. I'd have to look at my spreadsheet to hit them all, but within Trinidad there, I think it's Tower 64, Holiday Inn Express, La Quinta, Days Inn, not the Quality Inn, down the valley there, Stonewall Shopping Bag, Stonewall Lodge, Middle Fork Resort, about a half a dozen other Airbnbs that we've already reserved. Of course, the Barney Ranch and Bill Topel's property ranch there. In Cachara, the Cachara Riverbed and Breakfast, the Cachara Village Inn, and then we also rented a large 28 guest, I guess it'd be a cabin home right there off the side of the ski resort there in Cachara. So yeah, I've been in contact with just about every lodging source that we could get in contact with, and some of them almost all of them are involved. There's a few that chose not to be, which is fine. But like I said, we're at about $2.5 million worth of lodging and that we have reserved right now. So, well, I say 2.5. That's 2.5 in lodging and tickets. So I would say, half that, so probably 1.25 million in lodging efforts.
How about local vendors?
I'm not there to see the presentation, so I apologize. You probably already said this, but can you repeat when this event is and where it is?
It's at the resort, at Monument Lake Resort, Labor Day weekend. It'd be Friday through, so it'd be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The September 2nd through the 4th.
Yeah, Don, there isn't a visual presentation. It's all verbal. So.
Correct.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't present it. I'm just talking here. I didn't get anybody to.
And what's it called?
It's called the Caveman Music Festival at Monument Lake Resort, and it's we're currently in the process of getting Caveman. It was an LLC. We're converting it right now to a nonprofit organization. But yeah,
And is this the second year of it, you said?
this is the first year. Yeah, this is the first annual. So pretty big undertaking.
Fred, my question, this is Marty. I was gonna ask about local vendors. Do you have many local vendors interested in participating in this?
Sponsorship wise, we've talked to 20 different, probably 25 different companies, local folks, and we have we've got really good feedback from them. As far as vendors, we are going to try to get everybody involved that we can. I'm talking, the local bars and restaurants, to come out and set up their food truck or trailer. Absolutely. I mean, it's a community thing. We're pushing to make it as much of a community thing as we can and get as many people involved as we can. I did talk with the ladies at the Stonewall Auxiliary, Fire Auxiliary, and we worked with them on the fishing tournament at the beginning of the season. I went and met with them on Sunday, and they're on board to bring their food trailer out. Of course, we're gonna have a fishing tournament out there on Saturday morning, the 3rd of September, and the proceeds from that will go to their nonprofit.
How are you reaching out to vendors for this? Do you have a form, or is there something you can send us that we can share with our community?
Yeah.
We'll be interested in setting up booths and tents.
Yep, I'll send that over to Marty, as far as our vendor, invite and form. And that's really what we're doing. I've got a couple gals that work for me there and that work for me at the resort, and they've just kind of been out knocking on doors, and they've reached out to like the Smokehouse and the Dad Lounge, a few other bars there, but bars and restaurants. But yeah, it's so basically it's kind of a progression. Really, in order to get people even to consider it or to have any interest in it, you've got to first put a lineup in front of them because for all they know, it could be, Johnny and the knee slappers out there playing music. They don't, and do they want to pack their business up and put their efforts into going out for something that may or may not draw any people. So what we had to do, what the biggest, most important thing right up front was put our lineup together, and we're right in the final stages of that. I mean, we've already paid for a better part of the lineup, and so they're in. And so now we have that. Now we can put something in front of the potential vendors and sponsors and donors to say this is what people are coming to see, and so yeah.
I'm gonna ask this question, Mark. Do we have anything going on in September, those weekends, Labor Day weekend? Not
The,
yet.
the usual rodeo and.
The rodeo and the
Labor
parade.
Day events, the
Okay,
parade,
that's it.
et cetera, will be on Monday.
Right,
Uh,
okay. I just wanted to make sure I was correct on that.
Hey, Brett, this is Mayor Rico, and I was wondering, you're starting your marketing already. What kind, are you getting any results back from your marketing as far as reservations at this time?
We haven't opened up the reservations yet. We're gonna announce the, so the progression on that is we're gonna announce to our past guests, which we have about 13,000 guests, we'll send an email blast out to on April 1st. That's when we're gonna announce the festival to the public. And then we're going to open up booking for our past customers first. We're going to give them an opportunity to come in and book on resort. And then beyond that, then we're going to open it up to the rest of the country. As far as social media blasts, I hired a really cool company called Gupta, and they do a lot of geofencing. So they know how to reach out to the people who follow the genre of music and get our festival information from them. So yeah, first it's going to be our past guests, and they'll have the opportunity to get in there and book just out of loyalty. And then beyond that, we'll reach out to the rest of the country and start getting them in. But yeah, that won't happen until booking won't open up until about the second week of April.
Okay, one more question is this would be for like vendors that you're talking about. If you would once you open up your reservation, maybe on a monthly basis, keep Marty apprised of the number of reservations, and this would give the vendors an idea of how to prepare if they're going to participate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I've been, Marty and I have got to visit a little bit. She's given me some good information, and we are going to stay hooked up with her very well. But yeah, I'll give her weekly updates of how we're doing on the bookings.
Brett, this is Chris Miller. First off, I know how big a massive undertaking this is. Part of my past life was major outdoor events and indoor, and some multiple day. And I don't recall when you were talking if you said, have you done something like this before?
I've not, but I'll be honest with you. I try to surround myself with really smart people. If I always tell the people that work with me, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then we've got a real problem.
Yeah.
But I've not organized anything quite like this before. But like I said, I've got one of my best friends. He does organize all the parking, logistics, safety, and security for the Super Bowl and other massive events all over the country. And he's leading that team for us. So man, that's probably the biggest part of what we're doing is just making sure everybody stays safe and everything's run, with some organization. On the production side, again, very good friend of mine that I played football with, is one of the largest names in the production world. He does Daytona 500, all of the largest music and film festivals all over the country. Does all the audio and production for Kansas City Chiefs. He's gonna head our production up for us, provide us with our stage lighting, sound. As far as our marketing goes, it'll be led by Kim Bryan, who is the marketing and manager for Mile Zero Fest in Key West, and among other festivals. But I was connected with her through some mutual friends that I've already mentioned, and we just kind of built a relationship, and she wanted to hook up and run along with us on this, and she is extremely good at what she does. So I've really built some great teams to work with in every aspect of it. And of course, on the booking side of it, Red Shahan and Parker Morrow, who are big in the Red Dirt Country music industry. They're both artists. They're the ones that have kind of directed me and basically led the charge on getting these artists booked and signed. And I'm basically paying the bill. But so we have just an awesome team, great bunch of people. We're all very evenly yoked, and they're very smart at what they do. So I have 100% confidence that we're gonna have very successful event.
Well, I agree with you about surrounding yourself with smarter people. It's not hard for me to do. But that's the only way to do something like this, because you'll be dead by middle of September if you don't have a lot of good help. Sounds like an exciting thing. The first year is always tough. It's not officially annual until you hit the second one, but the first one has its own marketing value. So good luck, and I hope we can help you with this.
Thank you very much. We are looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great thing every year for the community, and it'll just it'll grow as we grow along. And and again, as far as the resort goes, it's pretty magical out there, and we're doing a lot of great things to improve it. We did all summer last year, and we've not missed a day of work this winter. I've had about a 5-person crew out there working every day this winter. We're renovating all the cabins, complete renovations, completely gutted them and coming in with all new marble tile showers, and it's going to be a look that if you've ever stayed in one of the cabins, you will not recognize them. So it's we're doing some great things, and more than the festival, we're really looking forward to the season. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of live entertainment. And we've already, as far as just the regular season goes, we've got an enormous amount of bookings already. So we're headed down the right path.
Hey, Brett, this is Phil again. I was saying that I've seen some of the pictures that you've sent or we've taken on the renovations that you've done, and it's very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, they're a good bunch of guys, and they've done an excellent job. And another thing that you may have interest in is we put a lot of focus on the fish hatchery. It was very overgrown and extremely overgrown, and we've cleared it completely out, and so it's going to be a really nice feature of the resort this year. There's some repairs on the spillways and whatnot that need to be done. Just old age and just they're kind of falling apart. But we're building a plan right now to come in and reinforce some of that rock. But it's really shaping up to be beautiful.
It's exciting.
Nothing.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Marty will be in touch real soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
So, also this morning we have Pat Howlett. So he's gonna do a quick 15-minute presentation
Or less.
or less.
Yes.
Okay, let me move this Mondo pad back so you can get out in front of them.
I'll tell you what, we picked the right company, lessee, for that rate this time.
It did a real good last year.
That,
Been
I
very,
was up
very,
there a couple times.
very, very impressed.
Yeah.
he's a sponsor of Tidbits, and has been since one of the first ones we got going, and
We lost them.
he's amazing to work with. Everything he does is just top. So, and I have been out there, Phil. It is everything you said. It's amazing. You almost think that's going to be. We got Radfest. We got this thing going on. It's good to be us, isn't it?
Don't be a crazy summer again.
It's good. It's good to be us. Well, as Marty said, I'm Pat Howlett. I know Camilla's familiar with our paper. We started this. I live on the other side of 25. February, I'm looking out on my terrace, and I look into town, and we just got all the news of COVID. It was in February about 2 years ago, and I said, I don't really do anything for my community. I said, I consume stuff, but I don't have business here. I don't do any of those kinds of things. And what's gonna happen to mooses, and what's gonna happen to Bella Loon, and what's gonna happen to Los Angeles Grill, places I go to. And I started looking for something that a small business owner could afford, could be in and be promoting it, because I'm a localist and I like local business, local organizations. And so I looked at this thing called Coffee News. It was too expensive. I found these guys out of Montgomery, Alabama. They had about 75 franchises in the U.S. and Canada, and it was just, you looked around back in February, everything's so divisive, everything's so political. Blue's not blue, it's light blue, or it's dark blue, right? And so I bought the franchise for this for Southern Colorado, and I carved out Raton. And we started launching. We didn't charge anybody anything because all my customers are small business owners, and they didn't have any money. It's tight. It's been tough. We tried to do 3 editions. We failed at that. Didn't work, so we combined them into one. So we go from, in the summer, Cimarron to La Vida Cuchara. In the wintertime, we go from Walsenburg to Raton, and we have some folks that pick up papers and bring them out to Cimarron. We're in all the grocery stores. We distribute between 8,000 and 10,000 of these a month. We pick up less than 100. And so that's about 96,000 to 120,000 individual papers that people that we're in hotels. Some folks put them in the rooms of hotels. We're in restaurants. Camilla's let us be at her place before. And for the first 6 months, we didn't charge anybody any advertising. And then we started getting folks, and Brett was one of the first folks that actually said, you know what, I like what you're doing. I see people bringing the paper out here. And so people pick them up, they take them home, they share them with friends. They'll get 5 from me, and they'll ship them out to somebody. They'll send them up to Denver. We get calls from folks all over the region saying, listen, where can I pick up the paper? I said, you got to be in Trinidad. You got to be in 3 counties. That's where we distribute. So 2 years, we'll celebrate 2 years July 1st. That'll be our 2-year anniversary here. Distribution's really good. We never get political. We never get divisive. It's all just fun stuff for anybody any age to just look at it. You see these, the 2 I gave you. One's about waffles and one's about birds. Okay, so those are our main stories. So no advertiser's ever going to find their ad next to something that's bad news. That's not a homicide. It's not the DA suing somebody. It's not those kind of things. It's always next to something that's enjoyable. We were the first ones. We hired the guy that ended up doing the adventure guide early, and we put this map on the back of here. It's really been appreciated. The visitor centers, lots of folks use this to hand people, say, this is how you get downtown, this is how you get to different places. So it's really been utilized across the area. Actually, folks like Marty and other folks are done. What can I do? I used to ask her, what can I do to make this even more valuable? And so this is one of the things we do. We do events. We have one of the most active websites in the region. We have events. If you go to losangeles.live or Huerfano.live or Colfax.live, if there's an event placed on Facebook, we've got it there. And so we have people it doesn't cost anybody anything. And so I wanted to get to the point to where we could actually get some more support. Right now it's been kind of a labor of love. It hasn't been profitable, but it's paying for its printing. And you probably know printing and distribution is expensive, especially now. Pueblo Chieftain prints our paper, so we've got a great partner there. And so one of the things that I've done, if you look at the one of the issues, I gave you 2 issues. One was the best of the best contest. City, I presented some awards the other day to the city. We won a lot of things. Actually, Brett at his place won a lot of things. These folks, and so this was a 12-page edition. Usually it's 8 pages, but if you look in there, you'll see we had over 2,800 voters, and that's excluding people that tried to vote twice and people that voted from bad addresses and those kinds of things. We had thousands of votes, and we had about 290 winners, folks that actually got awarded something. It's been something that it gets an opportunity to celebrate the cool stuff that we have, the incredible things we have to share in our community. And so it's been kind of a labor of love, and so I've waited for a while till we got successful, till we knew we had a distribution, till we knew that we were going machine. And I asked Marty earlier this month, I said, you know what, Marty, I think I'm ready to share and see if I think the tourism board should look at this and think that this is the kind of thing that you'd like to be involved in, the kind of thing you'd like to support. Again, 8 to 10,000 papers every month throughout our region. and people grabbing it online as well. And so I've saved, if you look at this the last couple of weeks, I saw Marty had this flyer, she shared this thing with me and said, Pat, what can we do with this? And it was your things to do, and it was really long. And I said, well, I don't have any space for that, but I could break it up into little pieces. And so for the last 3 weeks of this month, in this centerfold section, our best ad, those folks are on this page, sometimes for hours, doing the puzzles, doing the things. So we did things to do, and you can see that visited Trinidad, Colorado. This was in last week's edition. We really have tried to be a great corporate citizen and a community partner. So the 2 papers you have are examples of what we have. I've kept this, I've never sold this section right here, the one in the centerfold, and that's what I'd like for you to maybe consider. We're inexpensive for what you get. I mean, it's, like I said, $96,000 minimum to $120,000 of these get distributed a year. We're $250 if you get an internal ad. The front page ads are all sold out. We've got partners like Code the West, and the college has been a great partner since the very beginning. As we roll out into, let's say, La Junta and Rocky Ford, I purchased all rural Colorado and all rural New Mexico. So the intention will be to have these in small rural areas where folks don't have anything really going on, where businesses have a hard time promoting themselves or getting known, or having people remember them. You know, I'm always amazed at the number of times when I talk to lots of businesses in our region, and the number of folks who actually, go out of business and people say, well, I didn't know they were even on Main Street. I didn't know they were on Commercial Street. We all hear those stories. And so our mission is to make, to the degree we can, address that. So this ad right here is $500 a month. It's, like I said, that's 8,000 to 10,000 copies a month. Distribution's done. They can change every week. You can put a new ad every week. We've got the back section where we have the events. If you take your phone and you just use that QR code, you'll go right to our events. So we're a big promoter of the events that come before the tourism board. I like to think we already have been a great partner in that. So my request today, my ask is that you guys join us in this. So the proposal is for you guys to grab that middle, the center fold ad, to be in there, change it every week. That's 52 times a year. Update on everything that's going on. That is, it's $500 a month. It's $6,000 for the year.
That's every Thursday.
Comes out it's every Friday.
Every Friday.
I print Thursday. I get the file to Pueblo Chieftain. They drop them off my doorstep early Friday morning, and we go distribute. And I hit all the areas there. So it's if I get something from you Wednesday night or Thursday morning, it's in that Friday paper. And so and again, I really want to drive this because it's not hype. It's really hard work. We work hard to get to the point where we are.
You do all the distribution yourself?
Yes, I do, sir. We get in the hands of humans. People get this paper. I'm against having to recycle these things or throw them away or any of that kind of thing. So we make sure that we're only in distribution points where people are picking them up. And we started off with about 52 places. We're down to about maybe 20. Wasn't to take it away. It was just our goal is to make sure our sponsors and our readers get a copy of this so they can enjoy, have something fun that isn't in the news every day. So.
Don, did you have a question?
No, I don't have a question.
Hi, Dawn. Good morning.
I don't have a question.
I'm not advocating this, but I noticed there is no dispensary advertising. You just don't take it, or?
We didn't take it because when we first launched, we didn't know. And so when we first launched, we actually had kids' puzzles and those things in there. We decided when we made it regional that we just didn't have the space for that. And so we took the kids' page out of there. I wanted a period of time to go before when kids there's no alcohol in there. There's none of those things. So what we've done is we've decided that we're going to, so those are viable businesses in our area. So what we've done is we're going to open up in each area. So we're in Huerfano, Colfax, and Los Angeles. One dispensary and one other adult kind of things. So it could be a liquor store, it could be something along that line. So we're gonna do one. What I don't want is, I don't want it to be, the majority of publications are filled with dispensaries, and it's not local business. And I want people eating burgers and having, wings and eating a donut and listening to our music. So we were against it when we thought it was inappropriate. Now that we've changed it and made it more of an adult, more of an older magazine or a weekly, we'll do that.
Well, I'll read it, I think, because they're spending lots of money.
They are, and again, we've made decisions that quite frankly has hurt us financially. But we wanted to have some core values with regards to what we brought the marketplace and not yield from those values. So I know we could have been profitable, but I don't think it would have been the fun kind of thing it is if I'd have just had all dispensaries or all those kind of, and again, good viable businesses, and they've been very good to us in our region. It just wasn't for us at the time. But we will do
So
that.
let me ask you this,
Please, sir.
if you open it up to the dispensaries at some point in time, you're gonna open it up to one.
One in each
And
region.
you're probably gonna get some flashback from
Okay.
some of the others, and the big thing is how you handle that. Or are you gonna plan maybe rotate them periodically?
First come, first served, and we've set a precedence for that already. I never felt it was, I had a lot of realtors that wanted to be in here, but I didn't want it to be all realtors. There's a lot of insurance folks that want to be in these things, and they have money, mortgage companies. So there's a lot of advertisers out there already, but they're in the publications out there. They're not needing any help. So for insurance, we only have one per region. For a realtor, only one. We only have one realtor, in main realtor, and then we have one in Colfax, okay? So what we've done is we've done some exclusives, and we let folks know that this right here is an exclusive. So how we work with it is, if you give that up, two things will happen. We may raise our rates, so you come back and you'll pay the higher rate, or it's going to be open to somebody on the waiting list. We do have waiting lists in some of our areas. So in some of the areas have been exclusive, so great question. But in some of the areas have been, we just made it exclusive there.
There are a few of the dispensaries that I've seen that do promote things that are, that are, quote, tourism associated or related. The most I've seen out of was THCU. They sponsor, comedy. They sponsor, anything tourism triggers, those things. And I think maybe relying on somebody like that.
I had a meeting with Kim today at 2.
Okay.
And they have been a great community.
But I like the idea of
triggers and that kind of thing.
I like the idea of it not being, and this personal choice of yours would make, my opinion really didn't matter, but the idea of making it exclusive, it's more valuable for them. Plus, it doesn't look like a weed magazine.
That's
Because
exactly
there are some publications that, literally look like, a weed magazine.
We look like we're in homes, we're in businesses, and we want to be cognizant of that.
And I think that the public will appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it's good business. It's a lot of money, but it's still controversial. Legal or not, it's still, there are people I know from out of town that would go, and it's
I hate
wrong.
not having, I want Ringo's back in here. I love that store. I would hate not having what our core mission was to give a place for locally owned businesses to promote themselves that doesn't break the bank. And that they know is being in people's hands and something fun and those kind of things. So we'll never break that core value. I'll stop the publication before we ever do anything like that.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
We'll be in touch.
Do you have a rate card?
You did it a little different than the regular graphic kind of thing, so, thank you guys.
See you, sir.
Take care.
Okay, now
Okay,
we can get on with the actual agenda.
okay. All right, so
It
we're
is a
gonna,
work session, so we're good.
okay, good. Okay, the first one on the agenda, the graphic designer, RFPs.
So we had two, RFPs, responses to the RFP for graphic designer. One was Jeffrey Montoya with Picket Wire Media, the second one was Jerry, Campbell. And, so in your packet, you have the RFP fulfillment from Picket Wire Media. And the, following that, there is the one pager from Jerry Campbell. So If you want to review those, we can put this on the regular meeting agenda and then we can vote on it. We are required to notify those that responded to the RSP, or to the RFP the week after it closes. But not having a full board here to review these, I think we should wait and call a special meeting.
I agree with you.
Okay.
For this, I do agree with you, and I will be out anyway, but.
Did you have any questions on it, Dawn?
Well, I only see in the packet, I only see stuff from Picket Wire. I don't see anything from the other person who sent in something for.
So
Well,
it's-
that's because he didn't put it on paper like they did. He sent this in, and you didn't.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have that, okay?
there is a letter.
There's a
from
letter.
Campbell Designs. It's just a one.
Yeah, I saw the letter. I just didn't see any
Yeah.
other.
That's all I had. Everything else I couldn't reproduce.
Yeah,
It's
we
all
couldn't reproduce. It's all on this
posters
right
and
here.
flyers, and it is physical here. So
Do you have an opinion?
I agree that we should have a special meeting to look at this so we can really look at the
Yes.
aesthetics and kind of what they all put together so we can talk about something comprehensive. I also feel like in that we should really talk a little bit about what our goals are for this person. So when we hire them, we can communicate really effectively what we want them to do and what things should look like, because I just feel like a little bit of a work session where we powwow and kind of come to a consensus on, you know, what the ads, the purpose of the ads, the audience, what kind of suite of ads we want and everything, and what they should look like, and the templates, so that we're really clear about that, because the advertising, you know, that the board has done, it's just, there's a lot of inconsistency from publication to publication and place to place, and sometimes that's because of the audience, but if we can be really clear with whoever we hire, I think it will help the quality of whatever we put out.
does somebody have a recommendation for calling a special meeting, a date? Camilla, can we do something next? Let's see, I am gone the 30th, 31st, and the 1st.
It's okay, I'm
So it
gone
would
too.
have to be that Monday or Tuesday of next week.
You've reviewed both of these, right? Do you have an opinion?
I'd rather not have.
'Cause you're the one that's gonna be working with them more than we are.
I think it's more of a board decision.
I think,
Yeah, but I'd still like to hear your
Well,
opinion.
I think she is correct, because as the director and you're the policy group, and I think that's where the opinion should come from, would be from the board itself. I know that
You're
you'd
gonna
like to, and it'd be good.
Five opinions instead of one, though, so
But I think
that's the problem with it.
As a policy maker.
I agree. I think that the board needs to make this decision, and we need to really look at it really objectively. I mean, of course, you're going to work with them, so hopefully whoever we choose, you have a great relationship with. But I do think we really need to look at it very pragmatically and look at the quality of their work and what they're offering and all of those things. And maybe even after we kind of look at them, if, I don't know, bring them in and talk to them and see if they can communicate their ideas. I don't know if that's the process that we do, but that might be helpful too.
Okay, so is everybody available probably Tuesday of next week?
I am.
Can you do Tuesday of next week?
I am, I'm here.
Okay.
And I don't even know if I should be here, so.
Well,
Yeah.
you will, because you need to look at both of them. I mean, I know you won't be able to vote on one, but
Are you related to the one?
anyway, so I'll call I'll set a special meeting for Tuesday of next week.
Yep.
Followed by a regular meeting so you can vote on it. Does that work?
When is our regular meeting on,
Your regular meeting's not till the 13th, but by law, as I explained, you
The
are
12th.
required to respond to this RFPs 1 week after the closing date.
Can't the
So
response be that we are reviewing and you'll have them come in?
It absolutely is, but the sooner you get this done.
the sooner the better?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go out, so we need to get this done so that Murray has the tools that she needs.
Okay, so it's Tuesday, March 29th.
Right.
9 a.m. I will get this posted and set up a regular meeting to follow your work session so that you can vote on it.
Okay,
And just to make sure it's understood, I wasn't saying the board shouldn't be the one to decide. I was just curious what you thought, so I won't force that issue.
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, number 2. HB 22-1117 passed House and Senate.
So the House bill that you have in front of you was presented as a revision of how tourism lodging taxes are used. So I followed it real close. It passed the House, it passed the Senate. Excuse me. But in digging deeper into it, into the language, it apparently does not apply to municipalities. And so I think it just kind of scared me. Because what the language is that it's no longer, lodging taxes would no longer just be used for advertising and marketing, but it would also be used for, let me find the language, hold on. Subsidizing should we mark this? Housing and childcare for tourism-related workforce, including seasonal workers and for other workers in the community. And that would be something that we would have to rewrite and would have to actually go back to the voters, and the ordinance would have to be revised. But I wanted you to look at it so that you can see what's being proposed by the state as far as the use of lodging taxes.
Typically on, I think it'd be this Friday, we have a call-in meeting with our 2 lobbyists right now that we have. And I'll ask them for some further detail on it and I can get back to you because they might have some pretty good explanation.
Okay.
Because I know there's been some discussion about this already. As a matter of fact, that was brought up at one of our previous meetings with them. I'm not sure if there's an opt, I'll have to read it, if there was an opt-in or opt-out provision, or like I said, it may not apply to municipalities. So we'll get some clarification.
As it reads now, the language states county lodging taxes.
Right.
But it also states local districts. So I don't know if we fall into the local districts portion of this, or I know we don't, we're not a county lodging tax, we're a municipality, so appreciate that. But it has passed both the House and Senate.
I may be able to call even beforehand and get the information back to you in case I'm not here at the meeting.
Okay.
I'll try calling and get
Okay.
some explanation.
All right.
If I would've, like I said, I didn't know this was coming up, could have even probably called one of them to be on the call today. I could have given you some.
Explain a little bit
today.
more.
Yeah.
The language is real convoluted, so it's like,
Well, anytime you see bills come down from the state legislature, they pay I think they pay the attorneys by the word, not by the. Actually, what goes in.
Right?
Because they're so redundant, they're like,
They are.
it's crazy.
Yes.
I've seen it many times.
So we'll have more clarification on that to come.
Okay. Scenic of the Highway Legends. Marty's report.
So Scenic Highway of Legends, as you may or may not know, Don, I am a board member of the Scenic Highway of Legends, as well as the Canyons and Plains region and other boards. So I do a monthly or quarterly report on the boards that I sit on in the Welcome Center. So the Scenic Highway of Legends, just a quick rundown. Our membership now includes Trinidad Tourism Board, the Huerfano Tourism Board, the Huerfano County, Los Animas County, City of Walsenburg, City of Trinidad, Town of La Vida and Town of Cachara, Huerfano Economic Development, and the Walsenburg Chamber of Commerce. So we've increased our membership from actually 2 stakeholders to almost 10. So it's been really good. We have established a new board of directors. Bob Kennemer is now our president. He's formerly with the Walsenburg SCED. That's South Central Economic Development. I'm the secretary of treasurer. And then we have increased our membership as well on that board to include Felix Lopez from Los Animas County, Carl Young from the Walsenburg Economic Development, Jared Chatterley with Trinidad Outdoor Recreation, Lynette Jensen with Huerfano County Tourism, and Derek Sokolowski. I'm sorry, I put a K. Which is, he's from the town of Levita and also with the United States Forest Service. So we've got some active members now, which is something we haven't had for some time. And we're establishing subcommittees for grants and marketing and community outreach. So if anyone's interested in becoming a member of the Scenic Highway of Legends board, you are welcome. Just let me know and we'll get you on there and you can help us out moving forward. Our budget is the highest it's been in 10 years. We're at actually a grand total of $1,325, which we had probably 10 when I joined this board. So we're doing some outreach. We also were successful in landing a Los Angeles County grant of $500. And Christy Coberly, who's the accountant for Los Angeles County, has ponied up and she will actually handle all our accounting now free of charge. So she's volunteering to do that. I just completed our first newsletter. It's in your packet. And so the newsletter actually highlights what we've done in the last year and a half as we have been moving forward, some of our milestones, signage that we've done, the completion of the Southern Mountain Loop Pell Study, partnering with Byways and doing marketing and advertising. We received the Colorado Scenic and Historic Byways Award for our Travel Stories app. Just a quick rundown on the fires and the effects that they had in our Scenic Highway of Legends region. Some goals that we're planning on attaining and the partners that we have, the stakeholders that joined the Scenic Highway of Legends and moving us forward. The biggest news right now, though, is that there is a National Scenic Byway Foundation grant that we now, as a National Scenic Byway, can apply for. It's a $500,000 grant. We need about a $100,000 match, and the potential usage is to fulfill some identified items, kind of low-hanging fruit from the Pell study that was completed, to study wayfinding signage, interpretive center, and Stonewall, bike lanes, and warning system lights. So we're aiming really high to get some of those things on the Highway of Legends fulfilled that were identified in the Pell study.
Is there federal money for this? Because isn't it a National Scenic Byway as well as a Colorado Scenic Byway now?
It is a National Scenic Byway, and we cannot use federal funds to fulfill a match for this grant.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
We can
wasn't
use
up to this
state
grant. I was
funds.
just wondering in general if there's any federal funding for that.
Yeah, we can use state funds, but we can't use federal funds.
Mhm.
So we're looking at probably approaching DOLA and Colorado Tourism Office, other state agencies, as well as local. We'll see where we have to go with it, but
Hey, Don, the ruling on that, typically, your question is good. The reason why, it's kind of like the state of Colorado, you cannot use within the same state agent within the state to try to leverage monies for another state agency, and that's kind of the way the federal government works as well, I believe.
I wasn't actually asking if there was federal money to help with the grant. I was just wondering if there's additional federal money for that National Scenic Byway in addition to the state stuff. So I was, in my mind, I was thinking them as separate entities anyway.
Okay.
But I was just wondering about the funding source, because I think the idea of a bike lane or bike path along that scenic byway is amazing, and that could be a huge asset to our community. I mean, the Highway of Legends is so special already, and that audio tour is really cool, but it's hard to find, and to be able to, make that more accessible and more available in a bigger way would be really great, I think, for the communities around that. So it's cool.
Have you seen the Pell study, Dawn?
I've not.
I can send that to you if you, it's rather large, but it's interesting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Before you go on to, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit on that one, that HB 1117. Would you actually prefer maybe to have one of our lobbyists, virtual, so you can ask them questions? They're willing to do that.
If it affects us, then definitely.
Yeah,
Just let me know what day you're gonna have that meeting.
Okay, it'll be, the work session for the RFP, that's on Tuesday, the 29th, 9 a.m.
Tuesday, the 29th, at what time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. I'll see if Debbie or Mike Beasley, which one of them can do it.
Yeah, if it affects us, definitely. If she can answer whether it affects us
Sure.
as a municipality, then yes, we would definitely need her to speak. Okay, thank you.
okay, Marty, you're on Canyons and Plains.
Canyons and Plains. So Don, are you aware of the Canyons and Plains region of the state?
I'm not.
Okay, so 4 years ago, the Colorado Tourism Office reinvented the tourism regions for the state of Colorado.
Yeah, that I'm aware of.
Okay, so that kind of threw Trinidad into the Canyons and Plains region. And so it's southeastern Colorado. So we kind of fall into the same the same region as La Junta, Lamar, so Otero County, Prowers County, those types of, those areas. And so they have a board, stakeholder board, and I sit on that board as well. And we meet monthly. We have applied and been successful in 3 different areas. We, for Colorado Tourism Office grants, we are participating in a niche promotion program, as well as a Restart Destinations program. We were successful in receiving a grant for that, as well as a Restart Industries application that we applied for. So several areas where we're working real close with the Colorado Tourism Office and promoting the Canyons and Plains region. So the Santa Fe Trail also falls under our umbrella as the Canyons and Plains region. So everything, all the different counties and communities that are along the Santa Fe Trail, we also have joined up to do a Santa Fe Trail Byways Board. And you're also all welcome to join in on any of those meetings or become a member of those boards. So activities that we've done for Canyons and Plains, I included the summary report for the Canyons and Plains Restart Destinations program. So rather than go through that, I'll let you do that at your own leisure. It includes all of the action items that will be taking place for that. And I also included the last meeting minutes that kind of runs down what some of the discussions that we are having or that are taking place in our meetings. So VistaWorks we're working close with VistaWorks to promote, to finalize the website for Canyons and Plains. It is canyonsandplains.org if you'd like to look at that. It highlights each of the counties, including Los Animas County. We make regular Facebook posts on behalf of all of the 7 counties. The niche promotion program with CTO and Destination Think is ongoing. We actually hired Doug and Lori Holdren to produce some artwork and some videos for us for some destinations that are within the region. Bent's Fort, Sand Creek Massacre, the Dust Bowl, and the Santa Fe Trail. So we will be in possession of these art pieces that we will relocate throughout the 7 counties and promote the region that way. I don't know if you know what NFTs are. non-fungible tokens. You'll have to do some homework on that, but that is an area that we're also going forward. It's another.
Oh, those are like the images that people buy, right?
Yes. It's kind of a new concept in marketing and promotion, but it's catching on really fast with the younger generation. So, yeah, I still don't understand them, but they're supposed to be pretty cool. Another project that we're working on is virtual tours that we got a grant from CTO, marketing grant, that we will be doing virtual tours of the Canyons and Plains region. And 4 of those tours, I think we're doing 8 total. 4 of those tours are in Los Angeles County. So the Trinidad History Museum, Ludlow, Fisher's Peak State Park, and Trinidad Lake State Park. And a virtual tour is basically they do 360-degree images, and then they have pinned certain areas within that tour, like say the campgrounds, or at Ludlow it'll be the cellar where the coal miners' wives were killed, or they have them pinned, and you can drop on that and it'll read you the story. So if you want, you can go to Factor Earth, and it gives you an example of how those virtual tours work. So that's something we're working on as well. And then you'll see the Restart Destinations report, and it goes on and on about all the activities that we're doing, so you can also look at that at your leisure. Then I'll go right into the Welcome Center report real quick. We have currently 27 volunteers. Our visitation is still fluctuating because we're in the off season. Spring break, we are up significantly. Our February total is still less than 1,000. So January, just to give you an idea of where we are compared to last year. January of 2022, we had 405 visitors. 2021, we had 494, so we're down. February of 2022, we had 519 visitors. Last year, we had 560, so still a little bit down. March, we're currently at 986. Last year, we had 1,090. To put that into any kind of perspective, we're still the lowest visited welcome center in the state.
And as far as a business owner downtown Trinidad, it was probably the worst 3 months that I've ever had since last year too. My last year was so much more better than this year. It was a rough 3 months.
Yeah.
It still is a rough 3 months. So, and I don't complain about the snow because I know we need it, but it hurt.
It does hurt.
It does hurt. So spring break was doing real good, and then we got nailed with snow and shut everything down. So, but it has been very slow downtown. For me, it has. I've talked to other merchants, and it has been very slow for all of us, even the restaurants. So it hurt.
I am on the Welcome Center report, yes.
I've got some exciting news for you guys,
Okay.
if you guys are done talking a little bit. I just talked to Debbie Wagner, she's one of our lobbyists, and we are going to have a discussion on Friday with Mike Beasley, who's our other lobbyist right now, and we're going to discuss if there's any direct impact to Trinidad on this 1117 bill.
Mm-hmm.
If there is, or any, we may get them to be able to do a virtual meeting with you guys next Tuesday and see which one would participate. But the exciting news that she just told me about is that the JBC just appropriated $250,000 to Colorado Welcome Centers through OERIC for going forward, and how right now, I guess there's very minimal money right now that is given to the tourism, but they have proposed that and ongoing. So how that will all plan out is something for you to keep in the back of your.
Okay.
That's why we have a lobbyist.
We've been waiting for that news for a while. That is really exciting. The tourism office has been underfunded for quite some time, as I don't know if any of you know this,
Yes,
but
you've always told us that.
it's just,
Yes.
So they
It's like-
proposed this and then it's gotta go through the process,
Yeah.
but I think
but that's, just knowing that it's recognized is good news.
Yeah,
just I'll let you guys know.
Thank you, Phil. Made my day.
you made her day.
Made my day.
Okay,
So wait,
okay.
let me finish this real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay,
The hours of the Welcome Center will be changing as of May the 1st. Right now, we're open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. Beginning May the 1st, we will be reopening on Sundays. That's a mandate by the state. So we will be opening on Sundays from 8 to 1. And then until Memorial Day, and then on Memorial Day, we'll be open on Sundays from 8 to 3. The remaining days will remain the same. So my days off will change now that we're open 7 days a week again. I'll be taking off Fridays and Saturdays. Jeff's hours will remain the same. He'll be off on Sundays and Mondays, but we will be open 7 days a week.
okay.
The annual managers meeting for Colorado Welcome Centers is April 27th and 28th at Grand Lake. Jeff's gonna hold down the fort, and I'm gonna go to Grand Lake for this meeting. We haven't had one for 2 years, so it's kind of neat. Yes, you can come with me. The Colorado Tourism the Colorado Tourism Office State Manager, Tim Wolf, has requested a meeting with the mayor and the city manager, and they're working on that, setting up that date to discuss the future of the Welcome Center, and its funding and the possible relocation. As far as the travel shop, sales are good. I don't have a business like Camilla does, so I don't have to worry about too much. If it doesn't sell, then I don't have to replace it. So it perpetuates itself. I started out with $5,000, and I'm up probably. I have full stock right now and have probably about 2,500 in the bank. So it's doing good.
Doing good, I'm glad.
Doing good.
We always wanted to do that, huh, for years,
Yep.
didn't we?
Got
Finally
that.
did it.
That's it. I'm through.
Okay.
Babbling.
All right. Chris, you're up.
Yeah, of course, this is basically already decided, how many spots we have. It's mostly, obviously all down in the Taos area, and I have not written a spot yet, but I'm going to design it or write it focusing on folks that are in the Taos area and getting them to come on up north, as well as be visitors, as well as locals down there. It claims southern Colorado as part of their listening area, but that's very limited, and that's fine. We need to hit things down that way. Radio like this is really more localized. My goal is to have the spots ready to go to hit a real quick, blast before the summer. Do it in May, getting people when they're starting to make their plans. Plans are being made a little bit later, from what I understand, than normal, just because there's fewer trips because of the gas, and they're being a little bit more selective. So try to grab as many of those as we can with these spots that the city has already acquired for us.
Okay. Thank you.
Little background on that, Don. LMNOC is a radio station that requested to put up a broadcast tower on Simpson's Rest, and they received permission from the city to do so. And so the kind of trade-off was that they would give the tourism board free radio spots. These are not paid by us, so it's just a trade.
Okay.
We'll see you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Next on the list, the outreach to businesses of off-peak season.
This is a conversation that I had with Cy as a result of the closing of one of the local businesses that tried to make a go of it, and because of COVID and off-peak season, they had to close their doors. And a lot of people were very dismayed over that. They wanted to know if the tourism board had a plan that could support businesses during off-peak season. And so I talked to Sai and she said, go ahead and put it on the agenda, but being as how she's not here, we could probably just move it to the next agenda.
What was the business it was?
Paradox.
But, yeah,
Yeah, that,
I don't know if this is the place, but I don't think that closed just because of slow season. There were other factors.
and I agree, and I don't think they closed because of COVID.
yeah, and I heard that it was an internal thing.
Yeah, so I gotta watch that, and it's already moving on. That place is already moving on, so I don't, we could discuss that
And the downtown
afterwards.
development
Yeah,
group is
Yeah.
taking that over.
Well, off season is a tough time to promote anything. That's why it's called off. What you do is try to maximize, the peak season in that, because you've got to live with that through the off season.
we've always lived, I've been in business 14 years, we've always lived that hard season of January, February, March. Maybe this year has been a little bit more harder, but I don't know why that is, because December was a killer, and my last year was very good. So I'm not gonna blame the COVID, I'm not gonna blame the leftover COVID. We have people come into town, why it was, and even the restaurants, which I've seen some of the restaurants downtown very busy, but I've seen it also slack off a little bit. So, I can't tell you why it is, but there's nothing, we could promote locally for people to support locally a little bit more, but I don't,
It's inflation. I think is the biggest factor there. I mean, when it cost me just to drive from my house here and back about $8. When it was $4, it was not a big deal. But that's getting more and more. But people are just starting to really see that the cost and what it's doing to their budget. It's hard for the normal everyday person to grasp the thought, okay, I hear inflation's coming, it's coming, I get this is getting higher, but when they've gone through a month and their budget is blown to hell.
well, I've seen gas prices go up and down, and I people complain about the dairy. I think what's hurting a lot of people more is the food products rather than the gas.
That's what I mean, inflation,
So,
it's everything.
But when people travel, and that is, I don't think gas is going to stop anybody.
What she showed in the visitor center and they're still traveling, just not as many. I mean, and that just makes sense that it's going to be less. So I think once we
Although in different parts of the state, the numbers are up to pre-pandemic levels. So I don't know that is entirely true, because I know but I think people are spending money in different ways than they did before.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. They're coming into my shop. They're not buying. They're still walking our streets. They're not buying. Why? They're doing a little differently, but they are here.
They don't have as much
I
money.
think the off season is something that we should take a look at, though, because the ski areas have done a really good job of promoting themselves in the summer, and now they're almost all year round destinations, where they used to almost all be ghost towns except for during ski season. And the reverse can be true as well, especially doing some winter festivals or some fun activities. I mean, one of the problems in Trinidad is, frankly, you get an ounce of snow and the entire town shuts down, and it's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, we do live in Colorado, but embracing the snow and embracing some of those activities, and maybe looking at doing some winter events or something to really bring people out of their homes and outside and doing things and into our businesses. So I do think looking at something for off-season makes sense, because towns that have done that successfully have really seen the benefit of that, both for their local communities and tourist communities.
I agree. Okay, we'll put that on. Move it. Miscellaneous items for discussion. Anything?
I have
I have one thing
Go
It
ahead.
was brought to my attention that there are some images on our website that have not been given credit to the photographers and the people who have produced those. So I do think we need to make an effort that either we pay for the images that we're using professionally. I know as a business, if I use images, I pay for them, the copyright, or I ask permission. And I think we need to be cognizant of that and go back in and do that because that has been brought to my attention.
So just for your information, Dawn, that photo, that particular photo was in the files when I began this job. There was no identification on the photo. It has since been removed from the website and from the architectural tour for that reason. But it was unknown to the tourism board that that individual owned that photo. Otherwise, we are very, I'm very good at making sure that photos are given credit when we have permission to use them or they have been purchased. But not knowing who it belonged to, it was already in the files and it has been taken down. There is a history with this, in the owner of that photo, as far as the tourism board, that goes back to a previous staff member, city staff member. So you kind of need to know the history as far as what was posted on Facebook about that.
Yeah, I figured there was more than what I know.
Yeah.
But
it has
anyway, I
been
do think
taken
it's
down.
important that we make sure that we give credit. So
Yeah,
if that is the standard practice, then
It's
that's great.
not a practice that we do often. It's just, we didn't know who it belonged to.
Well, and I think we continue to use the pictures we have, and if somebody contacts says that's ours, then, okay, can we continue to use it, and what would it cost? Or if you like, we'll take it down.
Or give credit.
Or give credit.
Yeah.
Or give credit.
Yeah, whatever it takes to satisfy that person, but I don't think, there's so many pictures in that file, I would hate to not use them because we don't know.
Right, how they got there.
Yeah, how they got theirs.
Right. So the other two items that I have is, if you want to mark your calendars, on Monday, April the 11th, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock at Trinidad State College, there will be a Fisher's Peak State Park Master Plan public meeting.
Is this like the last one they had up at the center?
I have no idea what this one's about. It just says it's join the final Fisher's Peak State Park Master Plan public meeting.
Yeah, I saw the deal on that.
So they'll present design concepts and phasing plans for the development of the park. They'll answer questions from the public on their design concepts. They'll gather public feedback, and they'll provide information on the next steps in the finalization of the master plan. And then again is Monday, April 11th, 5:30 to 7 at the Pioneer Room. And the other thing that I put in front of you is just a quick upcoming event schedule. These are by no means all the events that are taking place in the city. These are just events that have been requesting event permits or park permits. Just so you kind of have an idea of what's some of the things going on. But the tourism website calendar of events is updated, so you can also look at that.
I have, the Modica Drive will be closed from traffic from 7:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon. Okay, because I moved the farmer's market to 9 to 1. All right?
Where, what?
The farmer's market,
It's gonna be at
9 to 1,
to 1 all summer?
all summer.
Right, but
Oh,
it's
I love
closed from
that.
You love me for that one,
Yes.
okay. Just
7:30 to 1:30.
7:30 to 1:30, I do have the city closing down the streets for me. And also, I'm putting up permanent road signs, and I have 4 new board members under the age of 55. I'm so ecstatic, it's pathetic. I'm very pleased with that. Because it is hard. It is hard.
Well, I
And
didn't,
I have vendors still calling me, new vendors. Can you believe that? So
oh, good.
Nice.
we're
I did most
moving
of my
right along.
business from 11:30 till,
Well, it was on your suggestion because you said you stayed there, so I was trying to do a good thing from 9 to 1, and everybody really likes that.
Yeah,
by the way. Okay, so we are at Chimino Park from a month until October 1st, because the following weekend that Rad Bicycle will be there, so we will vacate the Chimino Park at that time.
when
No, I didn't hear, when does it start?
June 18th, June 18th, and it goes till, September 24th is our October 1st is our last one, okay?
Cool.
All right,
All right,
and, that is it, okay?
It's the only time I set my alarm was to come to the farmer's market.
All right,
so adjournment at, what does that say?
10:23,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you, Don.
thank you, have a good